Welcome to the video topic on understanding OOS, OOT and OOE in the pharmaceutical industry. So you might have heard about these terminologies out of specification, out of trend and out of expectation. This video is for the complete understanding about these terminologies, their reasons and implications onto the regulatory front, and also how to deal with these OOS, OOT and OOE. The key concepts in the OOS, OOT and OOE are related to the quality control and the compliance. OOS means out of specification, OOT means out of trend, OOE means out of expectation. And all these three terminologies are very critical, very important, because these are affecting the product quality, and product quality is very important for meeting the patient safety and regulatory compliance and risk management. These three terminologies are required to undergo a root cause analysis and the corrective actions and the preventive actions. If OS, OT and OOT come into the product, then it will be a question mark onto the process and the product quality. So these three terminologies are important considering the quality control and the compliance. OS means the results are outside the acceptance criteria. OS occurs when the test results fall outside the established acceptance criteria set in the product specification. For example, your assay limit is 90 to 110%, and if the results come like 88% or 112%, then you can say that OOS happened. So the example is a tablet active ingredient content or assay is lower or higher than the specified range. Physical characteristics like weight or the results of test like dissolution do not meet the defined standards. Simple meaning of OS is that the any of the test, quality control test, is failing. Causes are like errors in the testing, incorrect sampling, incorrect preparation, sample preparation, analytical errors, variation in the raw materials, APIs and the production processes, production process parameters, problems or any issue with the instrument calibration and method validation. So these may lead to the OS. OS will have potential impact onto the product failure and reduced efficacy. Regulatory implications including product recalls or investigations. And resolution is to investigate the root cause and use the kappa, that is corrective and preventive action. Retest, adjust process and perform revalidation if required. So this is regarding the OS. OS means failure of the test to meet the acceptance criteria. Now coming to the OOT, that is out of trend. So out of trend is not a failure to meet the specification. OOT means it is not the failure to meet the specification. OOT refers to the result that still within the specification but deviates from the established normal operating range or expected pattern over time. Example is stability testing results show a gradual increase or decrease in any parameter like potency or dissolution over time. A batch of tablet passes initial test but shows a slight downward trend in active ingredient content or assay during the subsequent production runs. So if you are taking multiple batches and you are having some results in some range or trend, and any one batch shows the results out of those trends, then those results are called as out of trend results. But remember that OOT doesn't mean the failure to meet the specification. The OOT means the results are within specification but deviates from the established normal operating range or expected pattern over the time period. The causes are process changes, manufacturing process condition change, process drift, raw material quality issues or slight equipment malfunctions, environmental factors like humidity or temperature. So other causes may also be there which lead to out of trend. And OOT results impact risk in long-term product quality, and also OOT result signal future OOS event if the trend continues. So the trend, if it is downward or upward, then some batches may come with the OS, and this is because of the OOT. So OOT pattern may lead to OS. And how it is to be solved, or what is the resolution? So monitor trend over time to detect early signs of process or quality issues. Always understand the trend, investigate the root causes, and do the required adjustment or solving the problems like equipment calibration, process modifications if needed. This is regarding the OOT. Now coming to the OOE. So OOE means out of expectation. OOE refers to the result that while within the specification and trend are unexpected or do not align with the anticipated outcomes based on historical data or product knowledge. So OOE means the results are within specification and within a trend but are unexpected and do not align with the anticipated outcomes. Examples are unexpectedly low or high yield from the batch production run. For example, continuously you are getting 98% yield and one batch comes with the 100% yield or 102% yield. Unexpected changes in the dissolution profile or bioavailability. Causes may be unforeseen changes in raw material properties and supplier variability, changes in production conditions or environmental factors, unaccounted process variables that affect product performance. And impact is it can indicate underlying process instability or latent quality risk, potential for reduced confidence in process consistency or product reliability. Resolution. It is important to conduct thorough investigation and data analysis to identify possible causes of the OOE result. Also, adjusting the formulation, production processes, or supplier quality can mitigate the future occurrences. So, OOE is the result which is within specification and within trend, but it is unexpected. This is regarding the OOE. Now coming to the specific differences between OOS, OOT and OOE. So OOS is out of specification, that means the test result fails the test criteria. OOT means out of trend, that means the result deviates from expected patterns. OOE means out of expectation and unexpected result but within the limits. OOS may be due to testing errors, process variability, raw material issues. OOT may be due to gradual process changes, environmental factors may be responsible for OOT, and OOE may be due to unexpected variation in the process or materials. OOS will result into regulatory actions, a risk to the product quality is involved. OOT will indicate potential risk and no immediate action will be required. While OOE result will have risk to long-term process consistency, then OOS will result into root cause analysis and corrective actions. OOT will result into trend analysis and process optimization. OOE result into data analysis and process review. So out of these three, OOS is very difficult. It has serious quality concern and it needs root cause analysis and the corrective actions. Then OOT is the result which is out of trend. So trend analysis will be required and process optimization will be done. Out of expectation results, will need data analysis and process review. So root cause analysis for OS, OT and OA. What are the steps? How these root cause analysis are done? So first is initial review, second is root cause investigation, third is corrective and preventive actions, that is kappa, and last is documentation and reporting. Initial review includes collection of data and review the process, raw materials, equipments, personnel, environmental factors. Root cause investigation involve use of tools such as fishbone diagrams, 5 whys, FMEA, that is failure mode and effect analysis study. Corrective and preventive actions, kappa will be there. Corrective actions will involve fixing the immediate issue and preventive action will involve implementing systemic changes to prevent the recurrence. Then finally, documentation and reporting will be done to ensure complete and accurate records for regulatory compliance and the internal quality audits. So whenever you come across OS, OT and OE, that time all the documentation and reporting should be done and it should be kept for the ready reference whenever asked for the regulatory compliance and the audit point. Impact on the regulatory compliance. So OS, OT and OE impacts the product quality and that's why the regulatory bodies like FDA and EMA regulations are there for these OS, OOT and OE. FDA requires thorough investigation and documentation of any OS result. Failure to comply can lead to inspection findings, citations or even the product recalls. If FDA finds that there is a OS in the result and still the batch is on the market, so the FDA may recall the product. Other authorities which regulate the product distribution may also recall the products based on the OS results. EMA has strict guidelines to investigate the deviations requiring comprehensive analysis to ensure patient safety. Regular reporting to regulatory bodies and adherence to GMP is critical for maintaining the compliance. So always understand that OS, OT and OE are related to the quality compliance and regulatory compliance. Consequences of OS, OT and OE will be product recall, market withdrawal, negative impact on the company reputation, financial and legal ramifications. So these are the consequences. Because OS, OT and OE effect onto the product quality, safety and efficacy. Now coming to the last part of this video, that is preventing measures, preventing the OS, OT and OE. What are the measures to be taken? So robust training for quality control and manufacturing staff. The people involved in the activities should be well known to these terminologies and their effects. So robust training is must. Regular calibration and validation of the equipments. Consistent monitoring of the process conditions and raw materials. Thorough documentation and timely resolution of the deviations. Statistical process control and trend analysis for early detection. As we have seen that OOT may result into future OS. So trend analysis should be in place. Training should be there. Proper calibration validation should be there. Consistent monitoring of the process and raw material quality should be there. And documentation for the deviation should be there. And based on that, regularly the OS can be closed and the preventive measures can be taken. In summary, OS, OT and OE are critical quality control concepts that ensure pharmaceutical products meet regulatory requirements and the patient safety standards. So it becomes very important that the timely detection, thorough investigation, and corrective actions are essential for maintaining the high quality manufacturing practices and the safe and effective pharmaceutical formulations. It is needed to implement effective monitoring and root cause analysis. It is very important to ensure robust documentation and compliance with regulatory guidelines and emphasize continuous improvement in processes to minimize the deviations. So this is the information regarding OS, OT and OE. I hope you might have got good idea for this topic. Always understand that OS is the failure to meet the specification. OT and OE still meet the specification, but OT means the out of trend results and OE means the out of expectation results. So out of all these three terminologies, OS is a term which is having a great impact onto the quality. Also, you should read the OS related guidelines by the USFDA and the EMA. Also, other regulatory bodies have published the guidelines for handling of the OS, OT and OE results. Thank you for watching the video.